After 7 years of riding and testing e-bikes, I'm switching up my format a bit to provide you with more practical, useful information on my experiences. The first e-bike that I'm covering with this new format comes from a company that I have not worked with before, and one of the primary reasons I selected this company is that you can try these bikes out at your local bike store before you make those purchases. And when I did a search for my local location, I found there were 3 bike stores located within 25 miles of my home. So that makes it very easy to go see for yourself what I'm saying about this bike. Let's get to it. Hello everybody, this is Matthew Miller, also known as Palm Solo. I'm coming to you with a look at the Denago City 2 step-through bike in the large size. Now, this bike is offered in both a step-through and a step-over model in both large, extra large, and small, medium. This is the large, extra large, and if you can't tell, this is a very tall bike. The handlebars especially is up here almost at my chest height just when I'm standing here. And that's a bit different look for a bike that I haven't seen like this before. I'm 6'1", so the large, extra large is perfect for me, but make sure you pick the right size. Now it's available in both black and wavy colors. This is the wavy color, and you'll be able to see it in the pictures and everything, but this wavy color has kind of an ombre look with purples, greens, and other colors that depend on the light that's shining on those. It may not be fully captured on video, but you'll see in the pictures that I have here. Let's get to some of the hardware specifics of this bike. It's a typical 6061 aluminum construction, and it weighs in at 58 pounds, which is actually not too bad for a bike of this size. It has a large capacity of 300 pounds, and the back is powered by a 500 watt Xingyi rear hub motor with 50 newton meters of torque. Has a 48 volt, 13.66 amp hour battery. It's an LG battery that is removed with a key, and it's right here on the top of the tube, so easy to get to. This is a class 3 e-bike, and with pedal assist, you can easily get up to 28 miles per hour or more. And with the throttle, 20 miles per hour. It is advertised range up to 60 miles with passenger assist and 20 miles with the throttle, but we'll talk about some of my experiences in both those modes in a few minutes. Has hydraulic disc brakes with 180 millimeter rotors and those 27.5 by 2.6 inch tires. I have to say these tires are really nice. They're perfect for a road comfort and also maybe a little bit of off-road with the rain and things like that. There are 5 levels of pedal assist, a left thumb throttle, and an 8-speed Shimano gear system. Has a very comfortable saddle with a handle in the back of it for helping you pick up the bike. The handlebars are adjustable with that kind of swept back look that's very comfortable to ride. We also have these rubber hand grips with the pads for the ergonomics to have your palm rest on there, and that's fantastic. Has a center monochrome display, and then the controllers are over on the left side. As you can see here, no fenders come with this bike, and unfortunately no lights come with the bike or a rack. These things can be purchased separately, but nothing comes with it. Now, it is also UL 2349 certified, which is for the fire safety electrical systems, and also 2271 certified, which is the battery certification. So this is a safe bike you don't have to worry about. Now we're going to take a little bit of look at the controller on the left side and how that interacts with the display. Here we have the center display on the Denago City 2. It's a very simple monochrome display. Toggles through the different elements such as the odometer, the trip, the average speed, miles to go. It gives you an estimate of how much power you have left. There's also the pedal assist levels on the left side. This scrolls up and down, 1, 0 through 5. And on the right, we see the power level showing percentage. You can actually toggle a light on and off, but all that does is change the display since there is no light on the bike itself. Very simple, one of the most simple ones. Now, one caution is in polarized glasses, some of this display is not visible, so be careful with that. In this next section of my review, I'm going to cover a couple of scenario results. And the first one is the hill test. Now, the entry to my neighborhood has a 13 to 15% incline. And with many bikes, even with pedal assist, I can't get up that hill without walking my bike. There's no way in the world at my weight that I can get up that hill with only the throttle, and I've not found a bike that can take me with a throttle only. So with pedal assist at level 5, which is the highest, and I put that on all those bikes, I was able to ride up that hill without stopping, and I was able to maintain 10 to 12 miles per hour with very little effort and thanks to the Shimano gear system. So the hill test was passed, and that is a good achievement. Next, I went down on a trail, and went for a flat distance test with just the throttle. So with no pedaling at all, except to get started, which I'll talk about in a minute, I was able to travel. In this testing, I was just using the gauge on the battery and waiting for 10% to drop down. I was able to go about 4 miles. So that works out to about 40 miles. Now, that's if the battery goes down as indicated on the indicator. Now, Denago states that this will have 20-mile range with the throttle only. And I can say after my testing, I'm pretty sure I could achieve that on that flat condition, even at a 230-pound rider. The conditions were benign though, with no wind or anything else. It was flat cement, so that's not a bad test. Now another test I did was an endurance test with the with a pedal assist at 1 to 2. Now, the pedal assist on this bike is very good, and even at a 1, I'm able to go very fast quickly with very little effort. So 1 to 2 is what I've been riding this bike with most of the time. So I rode the bike for 6 miles with pedal assist, level 1 and 2, about 10% battery. That works out to something like 60 miles on that flat trial. Denago advertises something more on the order of something close to 60 miles, and I would have to say that's pretty accurate. I also, after I finished up that test, I put it up to pedal assist 5, and 28 miles per hour was easily achievable. This bike is very fast, very responsive, and the gearing system's great. Now sometimes when I go riding on these e-bikes, if it's a prototype or I didn't charge it or something like that, sometimes I run out of battery and I have no other assist mode on the bike itself. So this time I'm testing with a no battery ride. So I rode the bike with no assist, no battery, no throttle or anything else. I rode it for 5 miles with no trouble at all. Now, it helps that this bike is a big bike, easy to push down on those pedals. It's only 58 pounds, which isn't too bad, has those nice big tires and everything else. So it's very easy to ride this bike without any battery power at all. So if you ever do run out of battery power, now, I'm not gonna get up my neighborhood hill without having some assist mode. Now, another new section I'm adding in and covering in my review is called the fun factor. And this is just kind of, if I had this bike, would I just want to have a joy riding it? Now, when I first took this bike out of the box, I actually wasn't even sure if I wanted to proceed with the review. I took it out, I kind of thought it looked a little bit ridiculous. It's very, very tall. It's very simple. It didn't have fenders or anything else on there. And I have to say, it actually has a bit of almost a European Amsterdam kind of look, where it sits back a little bit more and it has that tall, I've seen some tall bikes out in Europe. So I wasn't quite sure, but I have to say, after riding this bike now for a couple weeks, I'm having a blast, right? I've put dozens and dozens of miles on it, and it's actually a real kick in the pants to ride. Has good power. It has me sitting upright, and I haven't ridden it in any rain, of course, but it has great battery range as well. So I'd have to say, as far as the fun factor goes, this is a blast to ride, and it's beautiful as well. There are some areas for improvement. Right? It doesn't have a front headlight, which I think is essential for every bike. And if you're going to call a bike a City 2, it does need a front headlight. So you have to add one of those yourself. It also has no fenders. And here in Washington State, you really need that if you're going to ride in the rain. It also has no suspension, although this front fork is designed that you can add that suspension later. It's still a pretty smooth ride, but if you're going to go on rough terrain, it might be an issue. The thumb throttle is actually a little bit tough. It's easy to push down all the way and go 20 miles per hour, no problem. But to go down just partially and slow that speed down a little bit, it tends to surge here and there, and it's hard to keep that thumb level. I would like to see an option for maybe cruise control or something like that to keep that a little bit more steady. So that's about it for improvement on this bike, but overall it's pretty great. The Denago City 2 is available now for $13.99. You can get those fender sets for $69.99 and a rear rack for $49.99. If I was going to keep this bike and ride it as my daily driver, I definitely would put those fenders and that rear rack, and also a light on the front as well. You can purchase just about any part for this bike that you want separately, and that's some kind of nice partnership with local bike shops. I mean, every single little part is available on their website, so if you ever have a problem, you can maintain this bike for a long time. The Denago City 2 really needs a front light, a bell as well, and possibly fenders for a true urban commuter, but it works like a charm as a cruiser. I'm not convinced that the Denago City 2 would work well for my commute, because I mix my commute up with commuter train ride, and it's a pretty big bike to put on the train and store it with some of these other bikes, but I might be able to do that. If I am in the city, it's a blast to ride. I was apprehensive at first, but spending lots of time with the Denago City 2 and having a blast driving down the roads and the trails has a very reasonable price point. And the fact that you can go to your local bike shop, try it out, get it maintained, and keep it running for years is great. It's extremely well built. It's rock solid. There's no issues with any of that. The handlebars are very comfortable. The hand grips are comfortable, and the battery life has been outstanding. So thanks everybody for watching. I appreciate you subscribing to the channel, sharing with family and friends. Ask me questions about this bike or any other e-bike that I have on the channel, and let's interact on there and find out more about each other. Thank you for your time, and may the mobile force be with you.